Hello students, continuing with the chapter data handling. Today we are going to study use of bar graphs with a different purpose. Last year you learned how to draw a frequency distribution table for a given data and then draw a bar graph. Now we shall see how from a given bar graph we can make deductions about the data. Also, we are going to learn how to draw a double bar graph and its use. First of all, for drawing a graph, you know that we have to choose a scale. That is, we must choose a suitable scale for drawing the bar graph. We know that a bar graph is a representation of numbers using bars of uniform width, and the length of the bars depend upon the frequency and the scale you have chosen. For example, in a bar graph where numbers in units are to be shown, the graph represents 1 unit length for one observation, and if it has to be shown numbers in tens or hundreds, 1 unit length represents 10 or 100 observations. Suppose we have to represent 600 marks on a bar graph. We cannot choose the scale 1 unit is equal to 10 marks because we will have to take 60 units to represent 600 marks. So, a suitable scale here is 1 unit is equal to 100 marks. So that for representing 600 marks, we have to take 6 units. That means total marks 600. If you take 1 unit is equal to 100, that means 600 divided by 100. Okay, we get 6 units. Is that clear? Now, by drawing a double bar graph, or we call it as a joint bar graph, we can compare quantities of the same type from two different sets of the data. 2 bars, one for each set of data, are drawn side by side. That's why we call it as joint bar graph. The heights of the 2 bars can be compared and then conclusion can be drawn. Now we can move on to exercise 3.3. In exercise 3.3, questions are given to draw the bar graphs and also answer some questions from the given bar graph. First, we will start with question 3. That is, drawing a bar graph or representing the given data on a bar graph. First and second question we will do afterwards. Third question. Number of children in 6 different classes are given below. Represent the data on a bar graph. That is, there are 6 classes given. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. The number of children in each class is also given. You have to represent that data in a bar graph. So, the first step, that is, you can draw the x-axis and the y-axis and also select a suitable scale. You know what is an x-axis? The horizontal axis or the horizontal line that we draw on a graph paper, that is the x-axis, and the vertical axis, that is the y-axis. The point of intersection of x-axis and y-axis, we call it by the name origin. So here I have drawn the graph paper with x-axis and y-axis. Now, select a suitable scale here. How to select a suitable scale, that already I have explained to you. But in this particular question, how to select the scale? Here you see the greatest value given in this data, it is 135 children. If we choose a scale, 1 unit is equal to 10 children, then 140 children can be represented by 140 divided by 10, that is 14 units. It can easily be represented in the graph. So, the scale that we choose, that is 1 unit is equal to 10 children, that you have to write. Then x-axis, we will represent the standards, and y-axis number of students. So bar graph, you know that it's of rectangular shape. So each box represent one standard. So first we can mark for fifth. See here in the x-axis I marked standard, y-axis number of students starting from 10 to 140. Now see here how to mark. Fifth standard 135 children. See here from fifth in the y-axis 135, that means the small line between 130 and 140. There you can draw the graph. So you got a rectangular shaped graph, which is the bar graph. Same way you can mark for other standards also, leaving equal same gap between two bars. The gap should be the same. Same way all the 6 classes it's marked. To make it more attractive, you can shade the graphs also. You can shade the bars. Okay. It looks like this then. I hope it's clear to you how to draw the bar graph. Now next you have to answer certain questions. The first question it is, how would you choose a scale? That answer already discussed. That is the greatest value in the data you have to find. That is here in this question it is 135 children. So we can choose a scale as 1 unit is equal to 10 children. So total we get 14 units. So the 1 unit is equal to 10 children is an appropriate scale. Second, answer the following questions. Which class has the maximum number of children and which class has the minimum number of children? From the table itself it's clear, or from the graph it's very much clear. That is class 5th. It has large number of children because height of the graph it is more. And which has the minimum number? The height is the least for 10 standard. Only how much it is for 10 standard? 80. So class 10th has minimum number of children. Next, find the ratio of students of class 6th to class 8. 6th how many students? 120 and 8th 100 students. So how to find out the ratio? Ratio of students of class 6th to the students of class 8 is equal to students of class 6 divided by students of class 8. That is 120 divided by 100. Simplifying we get 6 upon 5. So the ratio is 6:5. Now question 4. Question 4, it's a double bar graph. There subjects English, Hindi, Maths, Science, Social Science given. The marks of first term and second term is given. So you have to draw a double bar graph and then answer the questions which are given. See here, to draw double bar graph also you have to select the unit. Here 1 unit is selected as 10 marks. So 1 unit is equal to 10 marks. So in double bar graph, 1 bar or 1 box you have to divide equally. So 2 parts. 1 box has 2 parts. That is, the first part of the bar, it represents the first term marks and the second part represents second term marks. To identify that, one is shaded, the other one is not shaded. That also I mention here. The part which is not shaded, that is first term marks, and the part which is shaded shows the second term marks. X-axis we take the subjects and y-axis marks. There are 5 subjects: English, Hindi, Maths, Science, Social Science, and marks from 10 to 100 I marked by taking 10 difference. That means 1 unit we are taking as 10 marks. Is that clear? Here also the gap between the bars that should be the same. Okay, first we can take English. English, that box divide into half. The first half take for first term, second half take for the second term. So in first term, how much marks scored for English? 67. See how it is marked? It is 67. Between 60 and 70, the small line, that is 65. After 65, the 67 coming. So you can mark there. Then second term scored 70 marks. 70 also shown there. Okay. Same way, you can mark the marks scored for different subjects: Hindi, Math, Science and Social Science. Now, after drawing the graph, answer the questions. In which subject has the child improved his performance the most? How can you find it out? See the graph. From the graph, it's clear that the child has shown improvement in English, Maths, Science and Social Science. All these 4 subjects, improvement is there. But in which subject the improvement is the most? And here, of all these subjects, the difference between the heights of the first term bar and the second term bar is seen maximum in case of Maths. That is, first term 95, second term 95 and first term 88. So the difference it is 7. So we can say that the child has improved the most in Maths. Because difference between the first term bar and the second term bar, it's the most in case of Maths. Second question, in which subject the improvement is the least? Here see the graph. The difference between the heights of the first term bar and the second term bar is seen minimum in social science. So the improvement in social science is the least. Then next one, has the performance gone down in any subject? It's seen from the graph that the height of the second term bar is less than the height of the first term bar in case of Hindi. Hindi you can see the shaded portion, the height is less than the portion which is not shaded. So there is not an improvement. It's not an improvement in second. So the subject Hindi, the performance has gone down. Is that clear? So that's all about bar graph and double bar graph. Now, question first in exercise 3.3. In question 1, already one graph is given. You have to answer the questions. Observe the graph. The first question, which is the most popular pet? From the graph you have to answer. See that? From the graph it's very much clear that the cats are liked by most of the students. Isn't it? The height is the most. That is 10 students like the cat. And second question, how many students have dog as a pet? Dog, see how many students? That is 8 students have dog as a pet. I hope the questions that we discussed is clear to you. Now, the questions that I have not solved here, that is question 2, then question 5 and question 6, that you have to try in your book. Question 5 and 6, take 2 graph papers and then you can draw it. Today's portion for drawing the graph. I hope that portion is clear to you. Practice it well and complete your notebook. Thank you.